Imagine this. Some of the greatest movies ever made are sitting quietly in the shadows. Not because they're bad, not because they're boring, but because they were released at the wrong time, misunderstood, or completely ignored by the mainstream. And today, we're fixing that. Because if you call yourself a true movie lover and you still haven't watched some of the films on this list, then I only have one question. What are you doing, man? Seriously, these are not just underrated movies. These are criminally underrated masterpieces that somehow slipped through the cracks of Hollywood history. And trust me, the #1 movie on this list was released in the same week as one of the biggest films ever made. And because of that, it almost disappeared from cinema history. But the movie itself? Absolutely insane. From mind-bending sci-fi ideas to jaw-dropping action to visual masterpieces that look like living paintings, these films will make you say, "How did I miss this?" So, grab your popcorn, sit back, and get ready. Because today we're counting down 10 criminally underrated movies you totally missed. Let's start with something strange. Imagine being a small-town sheriff. You're already stressed, sleep-deprived, and barely holding your life together. Now imagine people in your town are suddenly being ripped apart at night. And the worst part? Some residents believe the killer might be a werewolf. Yes, a werewolf. That's the bizarre and fascinating premise of The Wolf of Snow Hollow. This movie blends horror, mystery, and dark comedy in a way that feels incredibly fresh. The story follows a frustrated sheriff trying to solve brutal murders while slowly losing control of his own life. One moment you're laughing at his awkward emotional breakdowns, and the next moment you're genuinely tense as the mystery grows darker. It's weird, it's unpredictable, and it's surprisingly brilliant. And if this movie somehow flew under your radar, congratulations, you just discovered a hidden gem. Most science fiction movies rely on massive budgets, explosions, and special effects. But this film proves something fascinating. You don't need any of that. Because The Man from Earth takes place almost entirely in one single room. No action scenes, no CGI, just a group of professors sitting together while their colleague reveals a shocking secret. He claims he's been alive for 14,000 years, and he might actually be a prehistoric human who never died. At first, everyone laughs. Then they question him. Then they try to prove he's lying. But slowly, very slowly, the evidence begins to sound disturbingly convincing. This movie is basically 90 minutes of pure intellectual suspense. Just conversations, but somehow those conversations become completely addictive. And if you still haven't seen this film, I have to ask again, what are you doing with your life? Seriously, put it on your watch list.
Stand alive and tall in a graveyard that you helped to fill? Well, then, perhaps it is time to die.
Before CGI explosions took over Hollywood, action movies relied on something far more dangerous: real stunts. And Ronin delivers some of the best car chases ever filmed. This spy thriller follows a group of mercenaries hired to steal a mysterious briefcase. But nobody trusts anyone. Everyone has hidden motives, and the mission slowly turns into a tense game of betrayal. But the real star of the movie, those legendary high-speed car chases through Paris. They're chaotic, they're intense, and they feel terrifyingly real. No fake physics, no ridiculous CGI, just pure adrenaline. If you love action movies and you still haven't watched Ronin, then honestly, do you even like action movies? Number 7. System Crasher.
Today is Monday.
This German drama is one of the most emotionally intense films you'll ever experience. The story follows Benny, a 9-year-old girl with uncontrollable anger and trauma. She moves from foster home to foster home because no one can handle her behavior. The system tries everything: therapists, schools, social workers, but nothing works. She becomes what the system calls a system crasher. And the performance by Helena Zengel is absolutely incredible. It's chaotic, it's heartbreaking, and it feels painfully real. This is not an easy movie to watch, but it's one of those films that stays with you long after the credits roll. All right, time to change gears completely, because the next film is pure action insanity. Imagine John Wick. Now place him in World War II. Now make him a silent gold prospector in the freezing wilderness. And now give him a platoon of Nazis trying to steal his gold. That's Sisu. And let's just say the Nazis made a very bad decision, because this man is basically an unstoppable force of nature. The action scenes are brutal, the fights are creative, and the movie never slows down. It's fast, it's violent, and it's unbelievably satisfying. If you love pure adrenaline action, this movie is an absolute must-watch.
Some movies tell stories. Others create atmospheres, and Millennium Mambo feels like drifting through a dream. This film explores youth, loneliness, and love in modern Taipei. The cinematography is mesmerizing. Neon lights glow in the darkness, music echoes through empty streets, and the entire film feels hypnotic. The opening long-take scene alone is considered by many critics to be one of the most beautiful openings in cinema history. It's quiet, it's reflective, and strangely unforgettable.
Some movies look good, but The Fall looks absolutely extraordinary. This visually stunning film was shot in over 20 different countries. And here's the crazy part. Most of the breathtaking locations you see are real, not CGI, real places. The story follows a paralyzed stuntman telling a young girl an epic adventure story. But as he tells the story, her imagination begins to transform reality into fantasy. The result? A movie filled with astonishing landscapes, surreal costumes, and unforgettable imagery. Every single frame looks like a painting. If you love visually spectacular films, you cannot miss this one. Number 3. Brick. Before directing Knives Out, filmmaker Rian Johnson created something incredibly unusual, a classic film noir detective story set in a modern American high school. Yes, really. Teenagers speak in 1940s detective slang while investigating crimes involving drugs, secrets, and betrayal. Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays a quiet student trying to solve the mysterious death of his ex-girlfriend. The dialogue is sharp, the mystery is gripping, and the style is completely unique. This movie proves that great storytelling doesn't need a huge budget. It just needs bold creativity. Before Heat, before Collateral, before Michael Mann became one of the greatest crime directors ever, he made Thief. This stylish neo-noir thriller follows a professional safecracker planning one last job before retirement. But of course, nothing goes according to plan. The film features incredible night cinematography, realistic crime details, and a hypnotic electronic soundtrack by Tangerine Dream. It's slick, it's gritty, and it helps shape the modern crime movie. If you love the atmosphere of movies like Drive, you need to see where it all started. All right, now we reach number 1. And remember what was mentioned earlier. This movie had the worst timing imaginable because it was released the same week as Star Wars. And because of that, it almost vanished from cinema history. Imagine spending years making a masterpiece, only for it to be completely overshadowed by another film. That's exactly what happened to Sorcerer. This intense survival thriller follows 4 desperate men transporting trucks filled with unstable dynamite across a dangerous jungle. One mistake, and everything explodes. The tension in this movie is unbelievable, especially the famous rope bridge scene, which many consider one of the most nerve-wracking sequences ever filmed. This movie feels raw, dangerous, and incredibly immersive. And if you call yourself a movie lover and you still haven't watched Sorcerer, then seriously, go dive into the ocean and rethink your life choices. Okay, maybe not the ocean, but definitely go watch the movie. And there you have it. 10 criminally underrated movies you totally missed, but shouldn't have. These are the kinds of films that remind us why cinema is so powerful. Hidden gems, forgotten masterpieces, and incredible stories waiting to be discovered. Now the real question is, which underrated movie do you think deserves more attention? Let everyone know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this countdown, make sure to subscribe and stick around, because there are many more incredible movie lists coming your way. And if you enjoyed this list, check out my top 10 movies with incredible plot twists. You won't regret it. Until next time, keep watching great movies.